one of the first things that you want to do, which I've alluded to, is you want to understand why you are hired. Jobs to be done. I highly recommend that you follow Bob Mesta. He's on LinkedIn. He's the brains behind the Jobs to be Done framework. It had made such a huge impact on our marketing and how we do business for our clients, on our own, because it's about figuring out why you are hired. And think about this, by the way. There's an emotional side, there's a functional side for being hired. You're hired to do XYZ job, but there's an emotional and social also elements. I'll give you an example. Right now, this webinar, this session that we're doing, all of you guys have hired it, by the way, to accomplish a task. You hired it, yes, you did. You had about an hour, correct, of free time at 7 p.m. You could have actually, you said to yourself, okay, well, I have a time slot that's available. What am I going to do with it? And different candidates apply to the job. Think of it this way. You're probably, if your wife and kids probably applied, you could have stayed at work, correct? You could have just sat there and watched TV. And the guy said, you know what? Okay, Learning Festival is going to also come and apply to the job. And there's a select group that said, you know what? I am going to attend the Learning Festival. I want this candidate. And why did you do that? Well, it might be that you wanted to see other people, but also there's an emotional element. Well, I want to be better. I want to learn. There might be a social element. Maybe one of your peers told you, hey, please attend. So there's some social pressure. So you want to be there within the group. So there's multiple candidates that applied, and you've selected, again, the jobs to be done was maybe learning more, and you've selected to attend the Learning Festival. Next thing that we do is we actually take the website and we run through it through a process called an expert review. Expert review, basically you take the website and you evaluate different elements on the website. Trust elements on the website. Does the website give you an impression that you can trust it? Fears and uncertainties and doubts. Are you incentivizing visitors to act right away? So typically you have somebody who specializes in either usability or conversion to look at the website to identify issues on the website. Now, what's interesting is the expert needs to have the knowledge to evaluate the website, but at the same time, the knowledge in itself is important, but it's not enough. What you need to have and what you must have is to have the ability to put yourself in the shoes of the customer, to think about how the customer is thinking as well. It's important also to distinguish between usability versus conversion. People lots of times confuse the two concepts. They think, oh, Mom, I don't have any usability issues. I don't have any conversion issues. I always tell people, usability is different than conversion. When you have a user-friendly website, it's just easier to navigate the website. The same thing with a conversion optimized website. However, the best example that I can give, when you have a user-friendly website, people are thinking to themselves, well, I can buy from this website. When you have a conversion optimized website, people are thinking, I must buy from this website. There's a huge difference between I can buy from this website versus I must buy from this website. Something else that we do is we do a lot of user research. Now, we've all seen those pop-ups. You go to a website and a pop-up appears and tells you, what are you trying to accomplish today? Anything preventing you from buying from us? So those are the polls and surveys that many marketers are using to collect data. The problem with these polls and surveys, I highly recommend them, but at the same time, you have to be aware of the issue that they present, is that they will give you very few data points from a lot of people. Let's say you launch a survey, let's say your website gets 10,000 or 100,000 visitors, and about 1,000 of them answer that poll or survey. Well, you're only asking 2 questions. So yes, you got 1,000 answers, but for 2 questions, it doesn't give you a full context about why people are answering a certain way. So you have to be aware of that. User research is very important, but this has to be done correctly. We spend a lot of time on data analysis. So we're looking through analytics, we're looking through heat maps, we're looking through video recording. We're doing lots of funnel analysis. So basically, this is when the data tells you what's going on your website. Now, While data is very powerful, and I'm somebody who spends a lot of time looking through analytics reports, analyzing user behavior on a website using numbers, data does not always tell you why a certain behavior takes place. That's when you spend the time talking to people. That's when you say, okay, well, I see a certain user behavior on my website. And what I need to do is I need to actually sit with actual customers of mine or people who are visiting the website, and I want to ask them questions. So what is it that you don't like? Where are you struggling? We also like to look at competing websites, and this is a tricky area because lots of times marketers have a herd mentality. Everybody copies everybody else, and at the end you end up with a sea of sameness where everybody looks the same and people cannot distinguish between multiple competing or different competing websites or companies. So you want to be very careful. You want to be aware of what your competitors are doing, but at the same time do not copy them. As a matter of fact, what I like to do is to say, let's find out the areas where we are strong and double down on those areas. The areas where we're weak, we might say, you know what, we are weak in those areas and they're not a focus of ours, but we are very strong in 1, 2, 3 areas. I'm going to double down on those areas, and I'm going to be very strong in those areas. So be aware of your competitors, but at the same time, do not copy them. Something else that we like to do is we like to look at, we conduct usability studies. So that's when we bring people to a website and we tell them, go ahead and maybe find a product on my website. And I sit there and I watch them. I like to call usability the crying game, as in tears coming down your eyes, because no one sets out to build a bad website. We typically don't. No marketer sits there or designer says, "Oh, I'm going to create a horrible website today." But there are many horrible websites out there, um, and it's unintentional. But the reality of it, people struggle with the website. What you want, the simpler it is for people to do a task on your website, the better off you are and your visitors are. So we bring people and we tell them, okay, well, can you go ahead and find a product on the site? Go ahead and find a service on the website. This website, for example, has a contact form. Can you go ahead and fill it out? And we just watch people and we watch how they navigate, how they struggle, what questions they have.